Every day is an opportunity for a fresh start. The journey to self-improvement is ongoing, and every step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself.
Welcome to the Keep the Promise podcast, where we help build resilient and well-rounded firefighters.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Keep the Promise podcast, the podcast where we share strategies and tactics to help you survive and also thrive both on and off the job. I'm your host, TJ, and today we're diving into a topic that's incredibly important for every firefighter: resilience and self-improvement. And we're throwing a quick twist into it, given the time of year and given the whole thing about New Year's resolutions that's coming up. So stick around and learn you a thing or two. As firefighters, we face challenges that test our physical strength, our mental resilience, and our dedication on a daily basis. So today we're going to explore how you can set meaningful goals, how you can stay in shape, how you can practice mindfulness, and eventually become an indispensable asset to your department and also your community. Let's kick things off by talking about the concept of temporal landmarks. Now, every single firefighter knows the importance of landmarks, right? Whether it's a geographical location, how to get places when you're driving there. Most of us don't rely on maps so much as memorization. Or, as much as I hate to do this, EMS, and then an anatomical point of reference. Landmarks always help to guide us. Temporal landmarks are just as important, except that they're dates that hold personal significance and symbolize new beginnings. So like I said earlier, for many, New Year's Day is that quintessential temporal landmark. But it's not the only one. It could be your birthday, the first day of spring for those of us who hate the winter, or even the anniversary of joining the fire service. Those can all be powerful starting points for change. Why do these meaningful dates matter? Research has shown us that the more meaningful a date is to you, the more likely you are to stick to your goals. So instead of waiting for January 1st, choose a date that resonates with you personally. This could be the day that marks a significant event in your life or a milestone in your career. By aligning your goals with these meaningful dates, you're more likely to stay motivated and achieve lasting change. So as we're coming up on the end of the year, take stock of what dates are important to you and try to tie your change to those things. It's a super simple exercise, and it's going to be really different from everybody else who shows up to change, to do their New Year's resolutions, January 1st through the 5th, and then they fall off the wagon, whatever wagon it might be. Pick that date that is super meaningful to you and live up to it. But before you can set a meaningful date, you need to identify what goals you're trying to achieve. What do you want to get done? As a firefighter, your goals might include improving your physical fitness, enhancing your mental resilience, or developing new skills that will make you more effective on the job. Maybe you want to learn the things that are going to get you promoted. Maybe you haven't been feeling like your true self within the fire service. So, what are these goals? Whatever they might be, it's essential to be specific. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, set a clear target. I want to run a 5K in under, 25 minutes. One day I'll tell you a story about a horrible 5K that I ran on May 6th. And if you know what the date prior to May 6th is, you'll understand why it's a horrible 5K. So I am not the authority on what good running times are for 5Ks. But the point is, set those specific goals. Now that we have a goal and a date, let's talk about the fresh start effect. The fresh start effect is a concept in positive lifestyle change that emphasizes creating a clear separation between your past behaviors and your future aspirations. So to leverage this effect, you need to acknowledge the specific negatives of your current habits. You need to have that tough conversation with yourself and say, this is not working. For instance, if you want to improve your fitness, recognize the drawbacks of the lifestyle that you're leading right now, such as decreased stamina and increased injury risk. When you outline the negatives, you are going to create a stronger motivation to change. So now we have the goal, we have the date, we have had that conversation with ourselves to have that fresh start effect, it's time to come up with a plan. Once you've identified all these goals and the meaningful date, create a plan. As firefighters, we're adept at solving problems and working within established protocols, for the most part. But apply the same approach to your personal goals. Break down your objectives into smaller, manageable steps. Just like we have that big goal of showing up, putting out the fire, and saving the civilians. How do we break that down? Well, show up prepared, for one thing. Establish a water supply. Pull an attack line. Throw ladders. Run searches. Whatever things need to get done, we take those big goals and we chunk them down into manageable objectives. So flipping it back to the lifestyle change and going back to that 5K, if your goal is to run that 5K, start with a plan that includes those short, manageable runs and gradually increase your distance over time. So let's talk about staying in shape and physical fitness for firefighters, because we know that fitness is a non-negotiable in the fire service. To stay in peak condition, focus on a balanced workout routine that includes cardiovascular training, strength training, and flexibility. As much as we might hate it, cardio is crucial for building endurance and stamina. Running, cycling, swimming, they're all excellent choices. And aim for 2 hours-ish of moderate to high-intensity cardio every week. High-intensity interval training, what a mouthful, can also be effective. Hence all the CrossFit-style workouts that we run in the Keep the Promise community, because it offers maximum benefits in a much more compressed amount of time. You also get strength, and we know that strength training is essential for building muscle and improving overall body strength. Focus on compound exercises, the basics, the squats, the deadlifts, bench presses, because that way you're going to be working multiple groups simultaneously. And for this, aim to do it, 2-3 times per week, incorporating upper and lower body exercises. And if this is all seeming kind of nebulous, I got you. Just wait a little bit. It's cool if you are in shape when it comes to cardio and if you are phenomenally ripped. But it sucks if you can't reach your hand behind you and turn on your cylinder, which is why flexibility is so important. Flexibility helps prevent injuries and it also improves your overall mobility. So make sure you take time to incorporate stretching and flexibility into your routine, such as yoga. I know we might see yoga as like, oh my God, such a girly thing. I don't want to be a big bad fireman doing yoga. Look, it's worth it. It's a hell of a workout. You're going to feel so much better and you're going to injure-proof your body. So aim for a couple of sessions, 1 to 2 sessions per week to maintain and improve your flexibility. And like I said before, if this is all kind of like out there and you're like, man, I don't even know where to start. If you're looking for a plan that covers all of these things, Fit for Service is your absolute solution. It's a comprehensive plan designed to help you rebuild your strength, your stamina, and to help you gain confidence in your uniform again. You could be returning from injury, like it's happened to us in the past. You could be dealing with burnout, like it happens to so many of us. Or you're simply looking to get back in tip-top shape. Whatever it is, Fit for Service is made entirely for you. We've tested it with, now we're up to like 40 firefighters, and they have had nothing but incredible things to say. So every day we're changing lives, we're helping firefighters get better. Look at the link below, get your Fit for Service plan today, and be a much better firefighter in 2025. We've covered the plan. We've covered how we're going to get there in terms of physical fitness. Now let's talk about the one thing that we love to discuss in this podcast, and that is mindfulness and mental resilience. Because mental resilience is just as important as physical fitness. As a firefighter, you face high-stress situations almost daily, which means it's crucial to develop techniques for managing stress and maintaining your mental clarity. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and simple deep breathing exercises, can and will help you stay focused and calm. So set aside a couple minutes every day to just practice mindfulness. Maybe find a quiet, secluded spot in the firehouse. Could be maybe the locker room for a little bit during the daytime, and take some time to breathe. Just 5 minutes of paying attention to your breath and notice how much better you feel. You can also go the way of apps like Headspace and Calm, which offer guided meditations specifically designed for stress reductions. I'm a fan of Headspace. I don't have an affiliate link, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. They used to have a free plan back during the pandemic. They don't have it anymore, but it is phenomenal. It tracks all your stuff. And once you find that one coach whose voice you like, it is totally worth it. We covered that mindfulness practice, but it's also important to acknowledge the fact that sometimes our mental struggles go beyond what a simple 5 minutes of breathing can handle. So don't hesitate to seek professional help if you're struggling with any sort of mental health issues. A lot of fire departments offer employee assistance programs. They have peer support teams. They have counseling services. So take advantage of these things. Yes, it's important to build a support network of colleagues and friends who can give you that emotional support. But a lot of times it is much better to go to the professionals who will guide you because they have guided other people to get through their struggles and they can surely help you. As a almost 11-year, I guess, I don't want to say a victim of therapy, but somebody who's been going to therapy for almost 11 years now, I can tell you that it's worth it. I can tell you that the smartest thing I did was start therapy back in 2014 because when we had our line of duty death in 2018, I made my phone call to my therapist and I managed to get ahead of it. Otherwise, I would have turned to the bottle and I don't know if I would have been here to tell this story. So take it from somebody who's had to go through some stuff. It's worth it. Okay. Now, talked about mental and physical strength and stamina. We've talked about setting the plans. We've talked about having that conversation with yourself about making those changes and that meaningful date that you set to take action. Now, let's take all of those things together and become an asset to your department and your community. Because as a firefighter, your role extends well beyond responding to emergencies. You are a vital part of your community, and there are many ways that you can contribute both on and off the job. So on the job, we know that continuous learning is just critical for staying on top of your game. The landscape of the fire service changes on an almost weekly basis. So take the time to attend workshops, to go to seminars and training sessions to enhance your skills and your knowledge. Find those local to you. I'm always going to push for the Key City Fire Conference. I wish Firemanship Days in Harrisburg were still around. I like the smaller ones. They're a lot more intimate than, say, FDIC, where you're just going to get lost in the crowd. So find the ones that work for you. Maybe it's Fire Department Training Network, whatever it might be. I have a ton of ideas. Reach out to me if you have any questions about them. But make sure that you pursue those sessions to enhance your skills and your knowledge. You might also want to pursue those advanced certifications, whether it be in the tech rescue field, in the hazmat field. Maybe you want to be a medic. I guess I can forgive that as much as I'm not a fan. But whatever it is, or maybe you want to be a fire officer or a fire instructor, take that chance, take the time to attend those classes, and actually make a meaningful effort to grow. Those of us in Maryland, you know that MIFRE is just a box-checking machine. I did most of my fire officer and fire instructor courses with a battery pack attached to my phone because that's how boring they were and that's how distracted I was. So don't be like me. Take the time to actually understand what's being taught and what you can gain from it, because I guarantee you I missed out on quite a bit of knowledge from not paying attention. I still passed, but that doesn't mean much. Now, outside of work, it's important to try to engage with the community and to every now and then take part in those outreach programs, whether it be fire safety education or, those CPR courses for the community, whatever you can do to help build those strong relationships with the people you serve. Now, I'm not saying this as a way for you to pat your resume and say, oh, look at how amazing I am, but for something deeper in that when we take away the fireman hat, right? When we say, hey, I am just here to serve in a different capacity, the same community that I serve on a daily basis, that change in perspective helps you restart that passion for the job if you're losing it. Trust me, it's worth it. It is so worth it to look at it from that other side and to still engage with the people who count on us and get back to the firehouse with a much more renewed spirit. Look, every day is an opportunity for a fresh start. By setting your meaningful goals, staying in shape, practicing mindfulness, and contributing to your department and your community, you can become a resilient and well-rounded firefighter. Remember, the journey to self-improvement is ongoing, and every step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of the Keep the Promise podcast. If you found it helpful, please subscribe, leave a review. It takes 2 taps of your finger, and most importantly, share it with your fellow firefighters. Just send it via DM, send it via text message. It would mean the world to me. It'll help us reach more firefighters and help build this community that has done so much for so many. As always, stay safe, stay strong, keep the promise you made to your community. Until next time, this is TJ signing off.